Yo, what's up? This is Gary A. Swaby, and you're now listening to a very special episode of the Co-op podcast. And this podcast has been on hiatus for a little while, just because well, for many reasons, really. There wasn't really much going on in terms of big news stories, and also me and Rich, we had life stuff going on as well. But now is the right time to bring back the co-op, and that is exactly what we're doing. And we are bringing some old faces back too. So, first of all, I am here with Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. How are you doing, Richard?
Doing good, Gary. What's up, listeners and viewers?
Yep, what's up indeed. And here comes the TK alumni. So, the first of the TK alumni is Mr. Edward Velazquez. How you doing, Ed?
What's going on? Just here. Excited to be back for this special episode. It's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, this is going to be interesting, for sure. And we also have the OG, the visionary himself, the man who, he's the reason why we're probably even here in the first place. So, Mr. Anthony Frasier, how you doing, Ant?
I don't need that much hype, man, but I'm here, just chilling, just just excited about a new era in gaming, just about the power that this new generation is bringing, man. So,
yeah, I'm real interested in hearing these hot takes because I know Cap has always focused. Cap is what I call Anthony, by the way, but he's also he's always focused on the business side of gaming, which is a very interesting angle to come from. And Edward, who he just kind of cares about the games that he loves and Halo pretty much. So I'm very interested to see where this is gonna go here. So yesterday, of course, Sony had a briefing with Mark Cerny in which he broke down the PS5 architecture. It wasn't the kind of reveal that everybody wanted, but there are people who were very interested to actually see them break down, what they were going for in terms of the architecture and the specs and everything, and the reasons that they chose these things. And me and Richard, of course, we've given our reactions already on this. I wasn't very impressed, but at the end of the day, both the Xbox Series X and the PS5 have good enough specs, and it all matters. The only thing that matters is the publishers and developers and which console they choose to optimize for the most. But with that being said, Anthony Frazier here had some thoughts that he wanted to share as well and vent about. So I'm gonna hand the mic over to Anthony right now. So, Cap, what was your thoughts on Mark Cerny's briefing yesterday?
I thought it was trash.
Okay,
that's it. It was trash presentation.
What was trash about it exactly?
I mean, a little like the audience was cut out of cardboard.
Was that even a real audience?
That what I'm saying? Like, yeah, for real. Like, the shit was.
No,
boring,
it wasn't
man.
a real audience.
My man was at a podium and shit, and just. Yo, man, that shit was booty, yo. Like, and you know what? It's supposed, and I know people gonna be like, "Oh, that's supposed to be the technical analysis, GDC presentation." Blah, 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 blah. Bruh, this the first time anybody's ever hearing like, "Yo, let's not pretend Sony don't know how to market. Let's not pretend that Sony is not aware this is the first time we hearing anything about this console. Let's not pretend for a minute. Let's really keep it real. Like, to me, and I was telling Rich, I'm like, yo, Sony gonna do something next week. There's no way they come out like this and not clean up after themselves because this was a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, so something being revealed the next week, either the end of the week, top of the week. There's no way Sony doesn't come out because this was trash. Like, and my man's, like we can get into the details. I don't know if we getting into the details of what he talked about, but I'm strictly talking about the presentation itself right now. The presentation itself, in my opinion, was trash. So.
Okay, so a lot when these things happen, I usually I'm talking to a lot of people about it. A lot of people hit me and Richard up about it, and one of the things that I heard from somebody that I speak to, who's deeply invested in the gaming industry, they said that this briefing could have pretty much been sort of like a fix. Like basically Sony were telling you what their initial intention was for the PlayStation 5, but the specs that they revealed aren't actually final, and that they're trying to bait Microsoft. So what would you think of that theory?
The theory that they're trying to bait Microsoft?
Yeah, so like they're trying to bait them into committing to whatever specs they have for the Series X, and Sony are then going to change their specs and potentially delay the console. Because right after this press conference happened, Microsoft confirmed that they are releasing on Thanksgiving, so they have a set date now. So
they came out and said that was fake.
That was fake?
Yeah. They turned around and said holiday 2020 after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But to me, people saying that they giving Sony a little bit too much credit now. Like Sony deliberately came out trash because they want to change their specs later. Like, who does that? Who plays multi-billion-dollar chess?
I mean, this isn't a bad time. This isn't a bad time to play chess, though, because you have, the world in crisis. So there's many things they could blame this on if they wanted to.
Why create bad press for yourself just so you can change your specs? Like, why create that? Why make the first time people hear about PlayStation? Why risk that? I don't think this was bait. I don't think it was bait at all, because clearly there are people who disagree with everything I'm going to say today, because I'm going to say a lot more, but there's people who disagree with everything I'm going to say today and thought that was the most perfect thing in the world, and that this thing was amazing and what they saw was amazing. So clearly they achieved, in their eyes, I think they achieved what they wanted to achieve.
Oh yeah. One quick point that I want to make is that I believe that we saw this, Gary. There was an article that came out that said, and obviously you don't know if it's 100% true or not, but I do believe it is true, that said Sony was not going to announce the price of the PS5 until after Microsoft announced how much the Xbox Series X is going to cost. So I think they definitely are going to look at Microsoft and I think try to respond to whatever Microsoft is doing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Follow the leader.
So that tells us they're very conscious of the moves Microsoft are making. So I wouldn't put it past them to pull a quick one here, because, with the world in crisis right now, there's many tactical things they could do. They could say that there was a hardware shortage, so they had to go with something else, and that something else is something more powerful. They can do many little tricks here. So
they can do all that, and if they do that, cool. I think that'll be good. But I just want to say that Xbox is the last person that PlayStation should be worried about. They should be worried about the Stadia outperforming them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You gotta worry about the Google Stadia. I don't even know how to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, go worry about them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you worry about Xbox for? You know what I mean?
You think that the Stadia is competition for the PlayStation?
Hey, Rich, how many teraflops do the Stadia has?
Well, it definitely has a little bit more than the PlayStation 5. So, I mean, that we did see that number.
Okay, but how many users does it have?
The
Well, hey,
world, man, it's Google, bro. You got everybody. That's right.
I mean,
I know.
everyone has a Gmail, yes, but like, are people with Gmail using Stadia?
They will be. You what? Yo, answer this question for me. Answer this question for me. Why did you start using Google Calendar?
It works with your phone. It's convenient. I like the UI.
And it was connected to Gmail, right?
Yeah.
You had other options. There are other calendar options, clearly, right? Like, but you're using Google Calendar, right?
Yeah.
So Google has a way of, and don't get me wrong, they got failed products too, but Google has a way of implementing things into their ecosystem very easily. So I'm saying that who knows what they had planned around how they plan to implement the Stadia into everything. But they don't have bad people at the Stadia. Like the whole team over there is nothing but gaming veterans that we've seen and met over the years that have always been in the conversation, around video games and in the cutting edge. So they don't have a whole bunch of nobodies over there just trying to get into the game industry, guessing what to do and all that other shit. They have some serious horsepower under the Stadia, man. You know, and all you need is a Chromebook to outperform the PS5. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. They definitely have some talent over there. But the thing is with this argument is if Stadia becomes competition for Sony, which yes, they very much could so in the future, not right now, but in the future maybe. But if they do become competition for PlayStation, they are also competition for Microsoft. So it's it works both ways.
But the point I'm making is, they're right there above. As far as power is concerned, they're right there above PlayStation. So don't worry about what Xbox is doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry about what Xbox is doing. They doing them. You know what I mean? Like, you worry about the price of Xbox and all. Don't worry about them. You need to worry about Google.
All right. So before we go,
and for the record, that's what Phil Spencer said too. Phil Spencer said, my competition ain't PlayStation. My competition is Netflix. My competition is HBO. Yep. My competition is Google. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, PlayStation, they up here, got their fans up in a fucking frenzy trying to compete with Xbox. Meanwhile, Phil Spencer thinking about, the subscription game and shit like that. Like, they're not even thinking about y'all niggas, yo. What's going on?
You know what's funny about Phil Spencer? Like, he spent like this whole generation being humble as hell, basically. and now he's starting to get a lot more slick and a lot more bold. So that's that's pretty interesting.
I mean, he ain't stupid. He know what he got to do. You know what he got to do? He got to come out with a powerful console that's going to last long. And I don't think Xbox is like, yo, we got to come out with a powerful console because we got to shit on Sony. Like, I don't think that was the idea. I think they said, yo, we got to come out with a powerful console because it's going to be a long-ass fucking time before another one comes out. That's what I think the idea came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, they thinking about their own business cycle. You know what I'm saying? Look how long the fucking Xbox One lasted. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Look how long the 360 lasted. These console cycles are long as shit. So I think he was just like, yo, like, I need to go in the lab and create a machine that's going to still be a beast as long as I need it to be one. And not because I want to compete with PlayStation in their, and what they're doing, but more so like, yo, I need to make sure our machine can last a long time. That's it.
Okay. So before we go deeper with this, Edward, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so what was your initial thoughts, after, I don't know if you watched the whole thing or not, but what were your initial thoughts when saw the Mark Cerny briefing yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched most of it. And I kind of just agree with what Cap said. It was just trash, bro. It was just booty. The man was standing there on the podium. It just looked cheap, like see like green screen in the back and fake cardboard cutouts of fans. Like, what was the point of that? Cap said again, it would have been GDQ week this week if it wasn't for this whole thing that's happening. But still, like, this is the first time that we hear about PlayStation 5 from them instead of from like rumor mills and all that shit. But this is the first time that they've spoken about PlayStation 5, to my knowledge, if I'm correct or not. And yeah, they just did a horrible job of doing it. Just really bad.
Okay, but what would you guys say to the people who wanted to see a more technical breakdown of, the architecture and why certain decisions are made and, etc., etc.?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't got shit to say to them. I'll say this. When Xbox came out, they came out with the flashy, fun shit first, like with the teaser trailer, getting people hyped. Oh shit, all of that. So people were like super hyped, and then they came out with the article that they just came out with like last week, which I think forced the hand of Sony, but that's another argument to make. But laying everything out, being open about their spec sheet and all of that stuff. It looks like Microsoft is on their own calendar, B. They're on their own calendar. Like, clearly, right. They're not worried about, we got to wait for PlayStation to do this and do that. It's like living like, Xbox is living rent-free in PlayStation's head right now, Xbox is clearly on their own calendar. Go ahead.
This little briefing definitely came off as a reaction to all the Microsoft stuff that has been like revealed. Like, little by little, they're just doing it good. Even this week, I believe on Monday, they showed off the controller, and they had videos of like comparing load times and just little shit like that.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when, so for instance, Xbox, I'll say it, Xbox has been second place, third place, whatever you want to call it. Whatever place you want to call Xbox, they clearly weren't leading, during this generation. We can all agree to that, right?
Right.
We can all agree to that.
Yep.
So if Xbox, so they've been in their own world. They been was like, all right, fuck it, we ain't gonna beat the PlayStation, and we ain't gonna do that. So we just gonna do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? They like, all right, we doing games. We gonna do games with gold. We gonna do the Xbox Game Pass. We gonna do this. We gonna do backwards compatibility. Fuck them. Fuck everybody else. We just gonna do what we gotta do. Live in our own world. And they kept that same attitude. If you notice, they still got it. Like, they're not doing things because Sony did it or because Sony is doing this or doing that. They literally are just like, we doing us. That's the same attitude they got since they've been like in third, fourth place, whatever place you want to put them. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like, they staying in that zone, they staying in that mind state, and it's benefiting them now because now they're not beholden to some kind of console war that's in everybody's quote unquote head. They just living their lives, like chilling, putting out their games. You know what I'm saying? And doing things for the fans. Full backwards compatibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas talking to me about a hard drive. I'm talking about backwards compatibility. I'm talking about, like, you gotta, when we talk about, never mind, let me back up.
What was you gonna say?
Well, hold on. Just to piggyback off of what Anthony said. I agree 100% because take for example the fact that the Xbox Series X is supposed to come out holiday 2020, and Microsoft was very clear with the message that for people who want to play the next Halo, that is also coming to Xbox One. So you don't. So they're giving the consumer an option. They're not saying you need to upgrade to the latest Xbox to play the newest Halo. You can if you want to, and maybe there will be some benefit to that. But again, they are mindful that they're telling people it's going to be. I believe they said, what is it going to be like a year and a half or 2 years before they are going to start making games exclusively for the Series X. So they're giving consumers an option, saying that you don't need to buy a new Xbox. If you already have an Xbox One, even if you have the original Xbox One, you'll still be able to play the new Halo coming out this fall. So yeah, they're definitely giving people an option, and I think people appreciate that because they don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on the new Xbox. Right now, they can wait.
And they got a little bit of negative reaction from like saying that stuff because people will say, "Oh well, why would I get it if there's no exclusives? Like I could just keep playing it on Xbox One." But like to me, the fact that they're making something powerful and it's just like up to you, like whenever you want to jump into this next gen, like they're giving you that option, like you said, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
See, that further backs up the point I just made, which is they living in their own world. Because clearly, somebody that's in competition would not make that decision.
I partly agree with that. So here's what I think. I don't believe that Microsoft never considered Sony being their competition and that they had to be reactive to what Sony was doing. I just think that at this moment in time, they know that they have Sony where they want them because let's not forget, Sony actually struck a partnership with Microsoft for the cloud, the Cloud X or whatever it is. Can't remember what it's called, but yeah, they have a partnership. So Sony will be using Microsoft streaming technology, basically, because I believe the deal fell through with was it Amazon or Intel or something like that. But yeah, they went with Microsoft. So Microsoft knows that they are in partnership with Sony. They probably have a lot of intel now into what Sony is doing. So Microsoft are in the better position right now, and that's just what it is. And they know that this is their advantage to get back in the lead, going into this new generation.
And you know what? Let me also throw this in there since you mentioned I that's a very good point you made, but also to talk about what Microsoft is doing. You remember when there was this whole big discussion about crossplay, and Sony outright said before that they obviously showed they had no interest in doing any of that, but yet Microsoft starts working with Nintendo, starts doing all this stuff with Nintendo. And now all of a sudden Sony is open to doing cross-play. So yeah, they definitely forced the hand of Sony to do some of these other things just by how they've been operating and trying to really show gamers that they are all about gaming and they want to really do what they can to get people involved in their ecosystem.
Yeah. Yo, y'all told me before the show that y'all had a lot of PlayStation fans who listen to this. Yo, they gonna stop listening to y'all, yo.
Why is that though? Like I think we're having a pretty intellectual conversation so far. So.
It ain't about intellect,
Look,
man.
man.
It's about you favorite it. You favorite it like y'all niggas favorite it.
I'm being completely objective here. What's up?
I'm just speaking from a working class, 30-year-old, I don't know any about this, online deals anymore. Like, I don't keep up with gaming like that no more. I just, I see the trailers and that's it. I'm not watching, streamers and all that crap. But, so that's where I come from in all this. But since we have Anthony on the line, it's not often that I get to talk to him about like business stuff and how he sees stuff. But one of the things that I always see that seems really interesting to me on the Xbox side is the fact that they've kind of set themselves up in a way where like Xbox is an ecosystem now. Like no matter if I have an Xbox One and you have a One X, Series X or whatever, like we're still under that same ecosystem. Like Xbox is just like a hub now. Like
you're right.
The way I see it is like I can see Xbox Game Pass on your TV, bro. Like it ain't even about. I think Xbox is just so past just consoles and stuff. Like as long as you're part of that Xbox ecosystem and you're on PC, but you're buying your games through Xbox. I think that's all they want, man.
Yo, they learned their lesson, bro. Like when they weren't leading this console generation, Microsoft figured out like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Like why are we competing like this? Like why are we competing in this archaic? Like me and Richard, you know, and this is Gary. I told Gary about this too, but I'm working on a documentary right now about the dude who invented the video game cartridge. And one of the things that's happening is I'm actually learning about the first console war, which was between the Channel F, Fairchild Channel F, and the Atari 2600, I believe. Right?
Yeah. That's correct.
Yo, why are we still having battles like that in 20 like, yo, it's like 20, what year is it, like 2020? Like, what the fuck? Like, we still talking, we still battling like that? So Microsoft is like, all right, well, yo, if we keep doing this, we're going to lose. We're going to continue to lose, right? We're going to continue to not. So Microsoft just said, yo, we're going to create that ecosystem money. Ed is completely right. That's the reason why they started Game Pass. And now if you got Game Pass, you get all the games day one. That's the reason why, yo, if you still got an Xbox One, you can still play new games. You got an Xbox Series X, Series this, that. They want to look like iPhones, man. Like, they want iPhones in the living room, basically. Like, they want an ecosystem, yo. And if you look at Amazon Alexa, right? Amazon Alexa is not just on the Echo Dots. Of course, they're putting these Echo Dots out there in the world with Amazon Alexa on them. But these Amazon Alexa could be in your fridge. Amazon Alexa could be the app on your phone. Amazon Alexa could be anywhere. So Microsoft is like, yo, we want to put Xbox software wherever it makes sense to put it.
Okay.
And I think that's smart. Whereas they're in. So them being in quote unquote second place and all this other shit becomes super irrelevant because they're thinking long term. PlayStation is thinking short term because they gotta like, yo. I was just having this conversation earlier. Yo, people gonna kill. Yo, man, they gonna get at me so hard. I was just like, yo, what has Sony got besides the PlayStation? Somebody tell me right now. And you better not say Bravia TVs. Like.
I mean, it is like currently that's the brand that's carrying, I believe. They did have, you know, they had the laptops, but they discontinued that. The TVs were killing it. I'm not so sure that's the case now. They have
that's funny you said that laptop. Because that's what Mark Cerny had on that podium, but I digress. Keep going.
They have the movies, music, you know.
They ain't got shit.
Just to be
but no, look, I have to.
PlayStation Now.
Yeah, that's where I was going actually. So, I have to defend Sony here because they do have the infrastructure to have that very same setup as Microsoft that you're talking about. You know, with the Games Pass service, they have PlayStation Now. And they've had PlayStation games available on TVs. They did that before. And also, Horizon coming to the PC. I believe this is so that they can begin to, get some exposure on the PC because I think they will bring PlayStation Now to the PC eventually so that you'll be able to stream, the PlayStation back library or whatever, via PlayStation Now. I think all of this stuff is coming, so they have the infrastructure to do everything you said about Microsoft.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. A girl don't marry you for potential. She marry you for what you're doing right now, man.
This guy.
You feel me?
Okay,
How
what are
long is
Microsoft doing right now?
how long are we gonna be quote unquote working on things? Matter of fact, wasn't backwards compatibility promised for the PS4? How long they been working on that?
PlayStation Now.
You mean the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4?
Just real backwards compatibility, not this streaming shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even on the even on the streaming tip, all right, cool, they got that infrastructure, but they really don't have the infrastructure. Because to me, like, to have infrastructure means you got to be open. You know what I mean? Like, they're not as open. Like, they're turning down partnerships. Well, they're not doing that no more. But now you're trying to build infrastructure. You know how long it takes to build the ecosystem? Like,
yeah, it takes a long time, and that's why it's going to take a long time for Google too, with the Stadia.
Google got an ecosystem, man.
Okay, yeah, but like the Stadia part of it is going to take a while to catch on.
It might or it may not. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they say, they announce, Stadia is on every phone starting next year. How long is it going to take for them to be in the ecosystem?
Did you see that news story recently where developers were coming out and saying that basically the Stadia isn't giving out bags, like they're not giving out enough financial incentive for publishers to even put content on the platform. So there's really not enough games on there.
Google ain't giving out the bags?
Nope.
Oh man, that sucks. So anyway, Microsoft is. You know what I mean? So
hey, remember when everybody was saying that we pay $60 for gold every year? Well, that's where our money's going.
Yeah, I remember this.
Great investment in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, look. PlayStation 5 is great. It's great. So look, I'm not even here to get at PlayStation 5. Like, I'm gonna have a PlayStation 5. I'm probably gonna have it before the people who gonna get at me on this episode.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
I'm gonna have it, but I gotta say this, man. Like, I'm getting at the fans, B. That's it. That's it. I gotta destroy y'all. Like, cause that was giving us all kinds of shit. I'm turning into fanboy mode right now. Y'all was giving us all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? When the Xbox was, what was it, 20% less powerful? Yep. Was that what it was? Gave us all this shit about power. Now, when the PlayStation 5 is announced that it won't be a more powerful system than the Xbox, now we pushing the goal lines to SSD. Get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. And then you got all kinds of tweets coming out with all these developers who are, by the way, PlayStation developers.
Yeah, you had some people to call out, right?
Yo, man. I'm gonna keep y'all in good graces with some of these people. I'm not but my thing is, like, people coming out calling this shit the most revolutionary console ever made. Yo, get the fuck out of here, yo. Did you not see when the Microsoft announcement was done last week? How could you possibly look at that? Look at all the specs. Look at the Digital Foundry video of the Xbox Series X. Then see the PlayStation and then call that the most revolutionary console ever made. Are you crazy?
Okay, so like, I don't believe it's the most revolutionary thing ever made, but like there are two notable things I want to point out here in defense of Sony, right? So yes, I am going to bring up the SSD speed because it's it's better than the Xbox is, which means games on the PlayStation 5 have potential to perform better than games on the Xbox, whereas the games on the Xbox, they will have more detail, more graphics, etc. But games might actually the frame rate will be more stable on the PlayStation 5, and also you have that the audio technology which is pretty unique for the people who are very into audio and let's be real, first person shooters and games like Fortnite and stuff like that, like esport type of games, they are very, very important now, and sound matters in those type of games. So
Okay.
those are two things
So-
that kind of boost the value of the PlayStation. And
Okay.
if developers choose to optimize for those things, then they can be the decision maker for a lot of people.
I have a comment to make, but I'm gonna go after Anthony.
Hey man, listen, Gary, man. So you said that games can perform better on the PlayStation 5 because the SSD is more powerful, more faster.
Like it's got a faster read speed.
It's got a faster read speed than the Xbox. I call bullshit. I call complete bullshit.
SSDs are different from HDDs. So like the way it works is like the games are going to be much smoother basically on the SSD. Like they'll load quicker. You can process a lot more information at a faster rate. Games will be faster. Like fighting games will be like super fast. Like
let me ask you a question, Gary.
So speed is going to be a thing.
Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Let's play Magic. What do you call that game again? Like with the chairs, where you switch chairs. Let's play that game real quick. And let's say that let's flip the specs around, and let's give PlayStation the specs of the new Xbox, and let's give Xbox the specs of the new PlayStation 5.
Right.
Make that same argument.
The argument remains the same. If it's flipped, then
everybody on this call know. Everybody be like, the SSD. Oh yeah, that don't mean shit. Like that don't mean because it don't.
Let me be clear.
I'm claiming it.
Let me be clear.
Anthony Frasier
I'm not saying
is claiming it.
Go ahead.
I'm claiming it. I'm standing by it. I'm saying that your little 4 or 5 second load difference won't mean shit. I'm saying it. I'm claiming it. Stop grasping at straws. You made a weaker console. Deal with it.
Hey, I'm not grasping at anything, and I'm not.
Not you.
By no
I ain't
means.
talking to you.
Okay.
Oh, whoa!
I'm talking to the listener who's getting furious right now. When they hear me, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to all. Deal with it, yo. Deal with it. You still gonna have your fire ass exclusives. You still gonna have the best Japanese games. You still gonna have the ecosystem. You still gonna have all of that shit. PlayStation 5 is gonna be great, but you got the weaker console. Live with it.
Okay, so let me make a quick comment because I'm pretty sure Gary wants to. He has more that he wants to say to defend.
It looked like Edward wanted to say a few things too, I think.
Okay, all right. Well,
preach, my brother.
All right.
No, go ahead, Rich. Go ahead, Rich.
So let me just say this. I definitely understand where the both of y'all are coming from. When it comes to that comment, however, about the PlayStation 5 is the most remarkable, the most revolutionary console, how in the hell can I believe that when I haven't seen the damn thing in action yet? And that was the one thing that I said yesterday on the React podcast is that if you're going to have a presentation, you need to show us examples of what you're talking about. I don't want to see a chart, a still chart of images. I want to see, let's see a game running on PS5. And, and Anthony and I had a conversation earlier, even when Microsoft was talking about the Xbox Series X, they actually showed the Gears running on that platform. They showed that in a video that was released the other day. So I asked Sony, when are you going to actually show us gameplay or show us something running on that console so that we can actually see what everybody is saying about this is an amazing, revolutionary piece of hardware? I mean, you need to actually show more to convince people of that.
They call this the most. I saw Jason Schreier from Kotaku quote somebody saying, he said that some developer told him it's the most impressive soft hardware he's seen in the last 20 years. bruh. if that ain't no like, excuse my language, dick eating ass comment, like,
Oh,
yo, that's gotta be the biggest like, yo, how could you look at what we saw and say just because of the SSD it's the most impressive hardware you've seen in the last 20 years? One piece, a SSD don't give you that. I'm sorry. A SSD does not give you that. And if you saying it does, you just grasping at straws because you need something to give you the you're a fanboy that needs something to give you the upper hand in your argument against the Xbox being the most powerful console. Start grasping at straws. Like, a SSD does not make your hardware the most oppressive thing in the last 20 years. I'm sorry, yo, it doesn't. And look, I'm standing by what I'm saying, yo. I'm standing by what I'm saying. I'm sorry, yo. Like, that doesn't mean PlayStation, like I said, PlayStation games are gonna look phenomenal. The games are gonna come out, they're gonna look crazy. We all know the first party games are gonna look sick. But your console was weaker. That's it.
Okay, but do you not think that the library alone, like, and because that's why people love the PlayStation brand, just because they have so many years of history, so many classics, and I know they said that, starting out there's going to be 100 backwards compatible PS4 games, and possibly, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 backwards compatibility will come also. They didn't say that, of course, but that is the notion at the moment. But don't you believe that Sony's huge expansive library is enough to carry this console, despite it being slightly weaker than the Xbox? Because I'm pretty
His
sure
brand is strong. The only thing that's carrying PlayStation is his brand. That's it. This brand, the PlayStation brand, is definitely going to carry it. That's the reason why there's even posts like that. That's the reason why there's even comments like that right now. You know what I'm saying? It's because PlayStation brand is so strong. You know what I mean? Like, this is so strong that people just can't fathom the fact that something else might be outperforming it in certain areas. The brand's too strong. So, PlayStation is, I mean, you're right. And then also, I mean, I hate to go back to this criticism, but you made a good point just now by saying, like, yo, PlayStation has this legacy this legacy library. And the fact that you can't even access that library, fully. That's sad, man. I'm sorry, yo.
For real.
That's sad. Like, how you like, what? I gotta go get PlayStation Now or whatever that shit is. Like, I gotta go get that. I got a PlayStation 5. Why the fuck can't I play all this?
Well, no,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. Gary said he is a fan of PlayStation Now, though.
nah, definitely not. But Microsoft kind of did the same thing with the Xbox One, though, because backwards compatibility wasn't available day one, and they gradually added games to be backwards compatible. So,
Yeah.
So what's the problem if Sony does that?
They show the commitment because they listen to the gamers. Here's the difference between Xbox and PlayStation when it comes to that. Gamers from the Xbox was not complaining, but they kept requesting that. They said, we want this, we want this, we want this, we want this. We want this, we want this. And then eventually Xbox was like, all right, cool, we working on it. And then they delivered it. And then they delivered it more. And then now it's a core part of their business in creating the ecosystem. PlayStation gamers have been saying it for years. We want this, we want this, we want this. And then PlayStation just continued to not give it to them.
Well, to go
difference.
to go to that point about the backwards compatibility, I think you and I think at one point when we was at E3, when Microsoft announced that backwards compatibility, I believe we all thought that Sony was going to respond. And you recall, this is when they had established that they had started PlayStation Now. So I believe we had a discussion about this, Gary. We said, so Sony is definitely going to do something now. And I remember we went to the presentation, and they just skipped over anything PlayStation Now. They didn't even bother saying nothing about PlayStation Now at that conference. So yeah, I do think that the fact that they're going to add this in PS5, that's great. At least for what we know. But once again, they said it's going to be the top 100 PS4 games. That's not every PS4 game. That's the top 100, and they didn't even give any.
Watch they add and watch it be the digital shits. It ain't even gonna be real games. It's gonna be like fucking Fat Princess and shit, yo. Watch. It's gonna be like the digital. It's gonna be like 100 of their like indie titles and shit. Watch.
I believe he said like 100 of the most popular. Games.
Those indie titles are popular.
Top 100. Yeah.
Those
top
indie titles are popular, bro.
Then what's the problem? If they're popular, what's the problem?
That's not what people want.
But if they're popular, it must be, right?
They popular, but they popular only because people just wanna play those small little games and they just like them. But you know what I mean. You know what people want, man. Let's not. You know, people want they want something that. They want the real games, bro. You know? They don't want Fat Princess. Nobody wants to play Fat Princess, bro.
Was that game really popular? I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was popular. They just made a big-ass deal out of it.
They made a big deal about it, yeah.
Well, I wasn't one of those people.
Uh-oh. Whoa. Oh.
So, okay, so, like, are you guys, like, Ed and Anthony, are you saying that you have zero interest in picking up a PlayStation 5 and that you're sticking with the Xbox basically and nothing will change your mind?
No, by no means. What I am saying today is that Xbox Series X is a superior console to the PlayStation 5. I will have a PlayStation 5 because that's just me. I'm just going to always own all of the consoles. But I'm gonna play the Series X more, and that's where I'm gonna do most of my gaming. How do I know what?
How do you know you're gonna play the Xbox Series X more?
Because I do it now with the Xbox One X.
But this is a completely different console. The games will be completely.
But you know what? Sony for just the longest I've been an Xbox player. That's just where I've always played. I started on Xbox Live, so ever since then it was a wrap.
Okay, but so hypothetically speaking, what if Microsoft releases games on the Xbox Series X very sparingly, sort of like Nintendo? You know how they don't release their exclusive games so often, like maybe a couple times a year.
I would still want to play all the third-party games on Series X.
And what if those third-party games end up being better optimized on the PlayStation 5 anyway?
Would you say that was the case for this generation with the Xbox One and the PS4?
Not well. It was two halves. So like the first part of the generation, yes, they were better optimized on PS4 because I remember Xbox One had problems with resolution and all the games were 900p and stuff. But then once the Xbox One X came out.
By the way, PlayStation fans made a field day with that shit too.
Remember 90p?
90 and 900p. 900p.
Exactly.
900p. Yo, y'all gonna get it.
I forgot about that.
Y'all gonna get it, man.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. That's true. People were running with that. Like people yeah, that was a big meme back then. But once the Xbox One X came out, that changed everything, and then obviously that was the more powerful system. So games performed and looked way better on the Xbox One X.
But see, I've always been a console owner, and I've owned them all. That's just, like I said, that's just me.
Yeah.
But you, Gary, on the other hand, you don't really jump into the Xbox stuff. So maybe is the Series X something that you look at and you're like, maybe, or how do you see it? How do you see it?
I mean, as of now, I'm not really planning on getting either console. I'm gonna have Xbox Games Pass. Like when there's something I want to play on Games Pass, I'm gonna
PC.
get that because that option is available to me. So I will use that. Because PC is my base now, so I play a lot of games on PC. But I will say that there are some heavy hitting IPs that could come to the PlayStation brand that will have me buying the PlayStation because let's say they get Final Fantasy Part 2 of the remake and it's timed exclusive on PlayStation 5. I'm
Yeah.
getting a PlayStation 5 straight away. So
Well,
so
that's gonna happen. So we know
But
that.
timed exclusivity is where you like that's a selling point to you.
I'm not saying
No.
it's not specifically the timed exclusivity. It's the fact that I want that game and I want to play it when it comes out day one.
What Gary cares about is Final Fantasy. So if Final Fantasy came to Xbox, I'm pretty sure then he'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll get an Xbox.
I don't
Yeah,
think
Final.
so.
No, I would just play it on Games Pass or like if Final Fantasy comes to the Xbox, it's probably also coming to the PC. So, I would just play it on the PC anyway. But
I
with the
got something. I got something to say, man. This is not directly for you,
go
because
ahead.
you are a PC player, but I gotta address all the PlayStation fans who like to act like they got a powerful PC and they can play every Xbox game. Shut up. Just shut up, man. Like every time there's an Xbox game, so oh, this is great. I'll play it on PC. Like you ain't got no PC that could perform good enough to play. Like, why would I need an Xbox? I just go get a PC. Like, all right, you gonna go spend $2,000 on a PC setup just to be on some shit like, oh, I ain't got an Xbox. Yo, you a clown, yo. You a clown. You a whole clown. Go get a nose. Go get the red hair. Go get all this shit, man. You a whole clown. And then if they try to make the argument, but PC got more games, bro, you know good and well you ain't playing all them games. You know what I'm saying? Like people who make that argument, a console gamer is a console gamer. You feel me? Like let's not pretend like these console gamers are big PC gamers. They're not. You're not that multi-platform. PC gamers they mostly play games on PC. They really don't have interest like that, in console games. Let's just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about all that shit.
Whoa.
So, you got a few that do, but not all of them. You know what I'm saying? The majority of them don't deal with console games. So stop. My thing is like, for all y'all who say that, just cut it out, man. Cut it out. Cut it out. Because if you go out and buy go ahead.
I was gonna say you like brought up a good point. Like I always thought of PC gamers as like more competitive on the gaming side, like they would play Unreal, and that's what I have in my mind of a PC gamer, playing like Unreal and those types of games.
They want to stream Minecraft and shit. You know what I mean? Like they ain't worried about no damn fucking Final Fantasy 10 times
40-hour games, 80-hour games and shit.
I mean that's the type of gamer I am now. Like I play mostly like Blizzard type games like MMOs and Overwatch and stuff. Like those are the things I play on my PC mainly now. But because I grew up with a PlayStation, I of course have an attachment to certain brand names. So if I see those pop up on a certain console, I'm going to get that console. Like whether let's say Final Fantasy is exclusive to Xbox, I'm gonna get the Xbox. Like that's just how I am. Like my attachment is to those specific brands. So
hey, did you ever beat Death Stranding?
I wasn't interested in that game, so I didn't get it.
And that was the name that you liked though, right?
No, when did I ever say that?
Kojima.
Oh yeah, Kojima, but he's a developer. He's not a game,
Kojima's son. Kojima-san.
if it was a Metal Gear Solid game, then yeah, I would have been
Nah,
looking
man,
for it.
Kojima's still a brand, though, man. That's a brand. Like if something
He's a
says
person.
Kojima,
Like just because I like something he created, like Metal Gear Solid, it doesn't mean that like 'cause when I saw Death Stranding, I was looking at it objectively, and I didn't see anything I liked that I was interested in. So I made the decision not to get the game.
who your favorite rapper?
50 Cent.
50.
So did you get his last album?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But then isn't that the same? Is that not different from? Would you agree that 50 Cent is a brand?
Yeah, he is. But like
All right, so that's different from Kojima. Kojima's a rapper who puts out albums.
Okay,
Kojima is a rapper who
but
puts out
50
albums
Cent
like
50 Cent
Velazquez,
also he also made vodka and all these other things that I didn't buy as well just because I like 50 Cent.
Okay, but Kojima, he put out other shit too. He got clear glasses and shit. Like, he got stuff.
Well, I
I'm joking. He ain't got nothing else. He just do games. But still, though,
yeah,
But I get you.
what would you say? What was that?
Nah, I said I get you.
Yeah, so I mean, what was your point with the Death Stranding thing anyway? I don't understand. Like, what was the point?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
Okay.
I think it was whack.
But yeah, I mean, that's basically me in a nutshell. Like for now, I'm a straight PC gamer. To be honest, I don't even have time for all the games I used to play anyway. So my habits have changed, and PC gaming is just more convenient for me. I can hop in an MMO or Overwatch, and play a couple matches or whatever, and then hop out. And that's the type of gamer I am, and PC is very convenient for that. So I'm only going back to the consoles if there's a big brand name dropping that I have an invested interest in, and that's the way I am. Now, for everybody else, obviously it's different. So yeah, but your argument was against PC gamers, but I'm guessing you're talking about the PC gamers that are using Games Pass as a excuse, right? Like to say that they have access to Xbox games. Is that what you meant?
Who, me?
I meant Cap. Like
Yeah.
that was directed towards PC gamers who act like they have access to all the Xbox games, right?
Yeah, that shit gets on my nerves, yo. I just get it. This game looks good. I'll go get it on PC. Like, yo, shut up, man. These dudes got gateway PCs, man. They ain't got none of. They ain't got no computer that could perform. You mean to tell me you gonna get the latest fucking Gears on your raggedy ass PC? Get out of here, man. Stop playing.
Oh, whoa.
Another argument that I always had against a PC gamer as well is that, like, bro, like you're playing on PC on a 20-inch monitor. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Not every PC gamer.
I know not everybody, but nobody is playing a PC game on a 70-inch TV, bro. Nobody's doing that. So, like, I don't want to hear shit about motherfuckers saying, "Oh, PC's great and the graphics." Like, bro, I'm playing on a 70-inch 4K right now in the living room, like straight setup. You need a fucking console for that. Sorry.
Well, hold on, Gary. Doesn't your boy Hip Hop Gamer play PC games on monitors or huge monitors?
He does, bro. and Cole does. Our friend,
but
Cole.
He's doing it to stunt.
He's different, yeah. He ain't the average gamer, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got the little outliers who do that shit, but nobody ain't,
But there's a reason for that. Because, like, when you're, like, computer monitors have better latency than actual TVs do. So, even though it might not be as attractive to you to play on a smaller size monitor, the latency is way better for PCs, so...
I'll take 70 inches and surround sound over latency any fucking day.
Oh, whoa,
That's cool, but there is a distinction between PC gamers and console gamers. They like different things. They want a different experience. So that's just what it is.
Oh, I was just talking to the PC gamers or to the PlayStation gamers that turn into PC gamers when it comes to like
Man,
Xbox
they're
stuff.
not. Yeah, they not PC gamers. They just say that shit to troll, yo. They just be all up in the threads trolling away. Like, oh, I'll get that for PC. Shut up, man. You ain't got that for PC. You just want to be spiteful and shit. And that's the crazy part. That's why your console weak now, man. I'm petty, yo. I'm petty.
All right, so like, so trailing off from this, like, I wanna talk about some kind of business things. Like, do you have an idea of how much you think these consoles are gonna cost, and what sort of price range would you actually be okay with? So I'll go to you first, Ed.
Okay, so I'm buying a Series X day one. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know what day it comes out, but I can guarantee you I'm getting one day one. But I am willing to pay. I will give you a range. I'm willing to pay $499 to $699, but I think that it's actually going to cost $499, so $500.
Okay, yeah, that sounds feasible. I think, yeah.
And I think that both consoles will have the same price point at launch.
Well, Sony is waiting to see what Microsoft does anyway, so
yeah.
They're either gonna undercut them and take a hit, or but even if they undercut them, it's only
even if they
Sony
undercut
can't
and
afford
they
to
take a hit. That's bad, man. That's like,
bad for them. Sony can't afford to take no hit, yo.
Yeah,
that's wild, yeah.
So I just think that they're just gonna be on par, to be honest.
Okay. All right, Rich. What about you? What's your thoughts on the prices?
Actually, I know that the Xbox One X was $500 when that came out. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think Microsoft is gonna try to undercut Sony, and I think I could see them launching this console around 450, maybe 400, because they know that if Sony is waiting for them to tell them the price, there's no way Sony's gonna sell their console for 350, 300. There's no way they're going to do that. So I think I could see Phil Spencer doing this. Yeah, we're going to make this about 400, 450. So, but I will say this: if the console is 500, that's totally fine, because again, that's how much the Xbox One X was. But I don't think this console is going to be more than $500. But yeah. I'm going to go against the grain and say about 450, maybe 400 for the Xbox One X, and I think if it is that price point, then Sony's going to have to either make it $400. They're going to have to try to be around the same as Microsoft, because if they decide, okay, we're going to make this $500, and Microsoft says, okay, 450, 400, then that right there is a problem, because you're talking about $100 difference from the competition, and that's exactly the place that Microsoft was in when they started this generation with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So, yeah, that'll be my guess.
All right, and how about you, Anthony?
I think PlayStation is gonna be $399.
$399?
Yeah.
That would be a great price point if it was.
I think the PlayStation is gonna come out. I think it's gonna be $399. I mean, if you look at the spec sheet, that's a $399 spec sheet. What's the problem? Why are we laughing? Why are we laughing? What's up?
I knew you were gonna say this shit.
Huh? It's gonna be $399. That's a good thing. They're gonna dominate because everybody gonna buy that shit and not the expensive Xbox, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So anyway, Xbox might be $100 more, but I got a feeling that Xbox might try and lose money on the console because this is the benefit of having a healthy subscription business. Because when you got a subscription business, you can make up for whatever losses you have. A lot of gamers, I see a lot of people on the forums, they talking, nobody can afford to do that, but they don't. But they're talking from the perspective of not realizing Xbox literally has a service that people are paying for every month, giving them money. You know what I'm saying? And so they can make up for the lack of profitability in the machine through the increasing the number of subscriptions they have. And the great thing about Xbox Game Pass being available on PC as well means that revenue doesn't just come from the console. And that revenue doesn't just come from one console. It comes from two other ones. So the fact that Xbox One is still active and still has subscription-based users on it, Xbox One users are actually helping make up the difference in profitability for the Xbox Series X being maybe $399 as well. So that's the power of the ecosystem. I think that gets lost on people's head that Xbox actually has. When you look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, he invested in insurance because that's a cash business. People are paying him every month, cash. And now he got cash to spend. Xbox don't have that much cash to spend, but the fact that they have potential to have that much cash to spend, if they keep expanding the Xbox ecosystem throughout PC and wherever else they plan to expand it. So Xbox can actually afford to be $399. I said it. So, but I got a feeling they might be $450 or $500. So,
okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't think because the thing is with the PlayStation, even though on paper, it looks like it is a lot weaker than what Microsoft's got, so it should be cheaper, right? That's what a lot of people might think. But a lot of that technology inside the PlayStation 5 is custom, it's like custom made, especially the audio stuff. So I think it's going to be pretty pricey to manufacture, if they go with this build. So that is going to knock up the price and the value of the system overall. So, and that's what's going to make it dangerous if they take a hit. Now, I think the reason that Sony wants to wait for Microsoft to reveal the price is because they know what Cap just said is true. They know that Microsoft has they have the ability to take a hit, whereas Sony might not be able to survive taking a hit. Because the other branches of Sony overall aren't doing that great either. I mean, yes, the movies, the music, but we've seen the TVs kind of go away and the laptops and stuff. So they know that Microsoft is well equipped to take a hit like that on price, and that is exactly why they are waiting to see what price they come out with for the Xbox Series X. With that being said, I kind of agree with the $500 price range. So $499, I think that is going to be the price that both companies are aiming for. But I do believe that there will be some undercutting going on, either on Microsoft's behalf or Sony's. Probably not so much Sony until maybe a year later. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be around the $500 price mark.
Well, one quick comment I want to make before you move on. I do believe that if Microsoft launches that console and it is $500 That's totally fine. But what I do think, if that is the case, as Microsoft has said before, that there won't be any true Xbox Series exclusives until maybe about 2 years into the console. I do think when that happens, they definitely will drop the price of the console, so that they guarantee that they get more people to check out the console at that point, because then stuff is not going to be coming to the Xbox One and the Xbox One X. It'll be coming specifically to the Series X. So if that price, like I said, if they don't start out with a lower price in the beginning, they definitely can do that later on, once they actually have exclusives coming to that console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. I think games will be, like, new games will probably be pretty scarce for the first year on both consoles. And we saw this happen with this generation, the PS4 and, you know, the Xbox One. That the first year was kind of weak, you know, for both of them. And I believe the same thing is going to happen, because you always have that transitional period where games are still coming out, like, optimized for, you know, PS4 and Xbox One. And that is going to happen a lot within the first year. So, yeah, I definitely agree that, you know, in the second year, that's probably when the game is really going to begin, like, in the second year of the both consoles' lifespan. Like, that's when they can afford to start taking more risks at that point, and they can get more competitive on price and bundles and different things of that nature. So yeah, the war probably really kicks off in the second year.
That makes sense.
Also, I want to read some stats off to you guys. Microsoft's gaming revenue in 2017 was $9 billion. In 2018, it was $10.3 billion. In 2019, it was $11.4 billion. I don't got to say much else.
Okay. And the PS4 was the fastest selling console.
Oh, whoa,
What are they at now?
Fast, but did they make money though? Like, I could sell, I could sell like 1 million TVs right now. I can go buy 1 million TVs right now, make $1 off of each one. Does that mean I really made money? You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody else who bought 1 million TVs and they made $5 off of each one. Who made more money? I sold mine faster. That just means I got less money quicker than him. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is ecosystem money. Ecosystem money. That's where Microsoft has been focused. That's why I said they was in their own lane the whole time. I was like, yo, they in their own lane, bro. The moment they started thinking ecosystem, I was like, yo, that's it. They found in their own way to be profitable. Yes, in the short term, did it make them look weaker? Of course, in the short term, did it mean they had to play second fiddle and be in second place? Yes. In the short term, did it mean they sold less consoles? Maybe, yes. But guess what? It's a long-term investment. Now that shit is starting to pay off. I don't know, man. Like, ecosystem money, this is the reason why they can probably put this system at $399. If they making money like that, and all these people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go get it on PC," you still giving Microsoft money? Like, shut up. You still, because you in their ecosystem. They don't get it. You think you one up in Microsoft because you're gonna buy their game on another PC? Oh, I'm gonna go buy Gears on the PC. That'll show them. You still paying for my Xbox.
Are there a lot of people who think like that?
Yes. That's why they say those things. That's why fanboys say things like that. Because they think that they're taking money or denying money from a console where they don't understand Microsoft. Xbox is an ecosystem, not a hardware anymore. They don't understand that. When you buy an iPhone, what iPhone do you have right now?
10.
What iPhone you got, Rich?
11.
And Ed, what iPhone you got?
I think I'm still on the 8.
Oh,
but
whoa.
Guess what? We still in the same ecosystem, though. We all all got different iPhones, and we still in the same ecosystem. That's where the money is. Apple gonna stay making money. It don't matter if you got the 8, the 9, the 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14. Apple still gonna make money. So that's where it's at.
Okay, and you think so? You think that there's no chance at all that PlayStation now can't be adapted and cannot compete with what Microsoft is doing?
They're gonna try, and that's the reason why they, trying to, PlayStation is now starting to release games on PC because they saw Microsoft getting that ecosystem money. They was like, yo, we need some of this ecosystem money too. Like, fuck, what's going on? So, I mean, do they have potential? Sure. Let's just wait and see. But right now, it's gonna be hard to call because PlayStation is so much of a console dedicated to the exclusives. So for me, they're gonna have to do a lot more to convince me that they even thinking ecosystem wise. Because if you being just on PlayStation 5 is not an ecosystem. If your ecosystem exists just on the PlayStation 5, that is not an ecosystem.
Right.
So that's what I say. Microsoft backwards compatibility is a big part of ecosystem building. If I can't seamlessly switch from this machine to another machine or this machine, that's not ecosystem. It's still a closed system, yo.
All right.
The moment I load up my Xbox Series X, all my games that is on this Xbox that I have now will be there. That's ecosystem.
Yep. So
That's
all,
ecosystem.
so it all comes down to the ecosystem, is what you're
Yep.
saying.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're saying that Microsoft has done a way better job of pushing that than Sony.
Hell yeah. They had no choice.
Okay.
What? They had no choice. It was the only thing they had. This is the only thing they had at some point. You know what I mean? Like, everybody would tell you, oh, yeah, Xbox number 2, Xbox ain't sold consoles, Xbox. That's the only thing they had was their ecosystem for a long time. That's all Xbox had was their ecosystem to rely on. They had nothing else. What game did Xbox release this year?
Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Are you fucking kidding me? Come on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Fucking Ori.
That game is fire.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is fire.
It's fire. It's cool. But the point I'm making is they had, like, that's not a killer app. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, PlayStation got The Last of Us dropping. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Last year they had a game dropping. What game did Xbox drop last year?
Gears.
Yeah, Gears 5.
Gears.
Oh, whoa. but hey, they got Halo dropping this fall. They got Halo dropping.
And we got 16 studios.
Yeah, Xbox invested heavy in their studios. This is why I said they was smart, yo. Phil Spencer played chess on niggas, yo, hard. Because when he bought all of those studios, they began working on Xbox Series X games immediately. And this was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and Sony, they actually broke a record, and they had like one of the fastest selling games also, which was Spider-Man, and they bought that studio, Insomniac. So
yeah.
Sony
Yep.
also,
Sony, but that's my point is Sony always been known to do dope shit like that. They always been known to have first party studios. The argument has been Xbox doesn't invest in that. But now Xbox is. It seemed like they played chess. Like they was like, yo, fuck it. We're gonna stay where we at. We're gonna build our ecosystem. We ain't gonna be in first place. We're just gonna build our ecosystem, invest in our next generation, and we're gonna chill. You know what I mean? And guess what? Now it's time. Now it's time to show what all that chilling was doing. So that's what I'm saying. Like Sony gonna always be good in that category, yo. But Microsoft is saying, guess what? When you a Game Pass member, our first party games that come out, you're gonna be able to play them anywhere Xbox Game Pass is at. when those exclusive PlayStation games drop, that's when you're gonna be able to play them. Only on PlayStation 5. That's not an ecosystem.
Ouch.
And that's the reason why Xbox is able to monetize the way they are. So exclusives are good, but it's a pro and a con to exclusives, bro.
Yeah.
You sell more consoles, but you lose more money.
Okay, I completely get what you're saying, and I agree on a lot of what you said actually. I of course had to play devil's advocate here, but let's get into, like, I have one final thing I want to ask you guys before we get out of here. So, will this be the generation where, like, is this, because we were having the same discussion at the start of the last generation, right? But is this going to be the generation now where streaming officially replaces physical media? Is it going to happen with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? Because we've been saying this was going to be a thing for a long time. And, both consoles, they still have a 4K Blu-ray drive. So, like, do you think that, they are still grooming users to be okay with going all streaming, all digital? And I mean all streaming, all digital in the sense that they can also choose to purchase the game digitally, or they can just sign up for the service and stream the game. So,
I definitely think the all digital thing that needs to be the standard. And I'm gonna go ahead and give a quick shout out to Dana because she actually wrote an article on GameStop, 2 very entertaining articles on GameStop, because GameStop has been going through it these last couple of days because they think that they are an essential business, that they should be able to operate. Which is why they are still open and still selling games amidst everything that's going on right now. So and I was saying, well, people could just buy a game digitally. They don't need the physical unless somebody wants the physical. But Gary, as you mentioned already when we had a discussion earlier this week, you want to get Final Fantasy VII physical. You don't want the digital because you have a collection. So I personally think that well, at least as far as this generation, I can only speak for this generation. For me, I have noticed a move to digital because even when I get a review copies now, it's all digital. I hardly get a physical anymore. So I think that model is going to be something that we're definitely going to see a lot of next generation with all digital releases. Because again, if somebody can just buy a game off of Switch, off of Xbox, or off of PlayStation, why do they need to go to GameStop? So I think that digital model is going to be something that is definitely going to be more of an impact next generation. As for the streaming thing, I have no idea. Obviously, Microsoft is invested in that because they have Mixer now, and I have seen that Mixer is starting to grow in popularity ever since it was initially came out. So Twitch is obviously still a big thing. So I do believe streaming is going to continue to be an option. Do I think it's going to be like the standard? I don't know yet if that's the case, but we'll see what happens. But the digital thing, I think, is definitely, I think that needs to become a standard, in my honest opinion, in some cases. But we'll see what happens.
all right. And what do you think about that, Ed? Do you think this is going to be the generation where all digital? So basically, the Netflix of games. And you'll also be able to purchase the games as well if you want to digitally. Do you think that all of that is going to become the standard in this generation? Because we've been talking about this happening for a while, but it still hasn't become the norm yet, and a lot of people are being slow to adopt. But what do you think? Do you think this is the generation?
I mean, I'm already sort of all digital. I'm already living in that reality, I guess, because I don't see the point in buying anything physical now. Like, I don't need the box case or whatever. Like, it just takes up space. So just digital's been the way to go for me this gen. Later on in this generation. So yeah, but do I believe it's going to be the standard? I think so. I think digital will start to be the standard this generation. The whole streaming thing, I don't buy into that at all, bro. Like, I don't think that it's even possible for that reality to come true. Like, there's no way that you can push that amount of power that a game requires to run on. You know, I don't think you could push all that through a little stream. Like, that's why Stadia isn't shit, in my opinion. And I don't think that would change on Xbox or PS5. So I just don't see streaming being the way of the future, personally.
Okay, fair enough. And how about you, Anthony?
Yeah, I think the industry is moving digital, man. It's slow, but I think soon enough it's just like delaying the inevitable at this point. You know, and that's why these new systems are probably gonna be really well built for, like, you know, hybrid, you know, having both solutions, being kind of optimized to carry both. But I don't know, man. I just don't see I don't see us really fucking with disc for too long. Do people even buy? People don't even buy PC games. Remember when PC games used to be bought in the stores?
Yeah, that's not a thing at all. No.
That's not a thing at all anymore. PC game boxes used to be big as shit too, right? Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That shit used to be big as shit. What were they thinking? But yo, you can't find a game on PC or on CD-ROM anywhere, yo, anywhere. So it's inevitable at this point. So
I remember buying a physical. I bought a physical copy of a PC game, and it was literally just a code inside. Like,
you got gypped, yo.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, what was you gonna say, Ed? You were gonna say something?
Nah, I had that same experience as well.
Can you remember what game it was?
I think it might have been like a Warcraft or something, or Starcraft, one of those.
That's hilarious. But I did have a take, but I can't remember. What were we talking about? The discs.
The streaming.
Yes, the streaming. Yeah, I think they're trying to groom everyone into going all digital. The only thing that has me confused is why they're going with 1 terabyte, you know, as the default. I can only guess that that's a cost-saving measure so that they can keep the price down for the first year. But I do think that eventually we're going to see 2 terabyte models of both consoles.
Yeah.
Because these games are going to get bigger and bigger, and if you're talking about more graphics, ray tracing capabilities, and all this stuff, the games are going to be super bloated, and you're going to need more than 1 terabyte. So I do believe there are 2 terabyte models coming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, and they will definitely, both companies will be grooming. I mean, you can just look at Games Pass. You know, this is Microsoft getting a head start. So
yeah, I see Game Pass is like, honestly, I don't even own. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even a Game Pass subscriber. I'm not, and that's because I don't play enough games to be one. But if I was like playing as much games as I was, you know, a few years ago, yo, Game Pass would be my number one thing, yo. Like, I don't see, honestly, if you own an Xbox, why don't you have Game Pass?
Whoa,
You know what I'm
hey.
saying? If you game like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you game like we was gaming And our heyday, like Game Pass was around when we was like really, really when we was all going in Koalition days, man. Everybody would have Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
because it just makes mad sense, yo.
Yeah. Like I actually had this experience the other day, and this shows how neutral I am, right? So on Facebook, there was this girl that I used to know from school or whatever, and she was saying on Facebook, because she doesn't know anything about gaming, she has a son or whatever, and she was like, is Game Pass a good and valuable service for me to subscribe to for my son so we can have access to all these games? And I commented and said it's not even a question. Like, it's the best value you can get in that situation. Like, if you're a parent and you want to give your child some games to play, like, just pay for Games Pass. That's it. Like that, and they have access to is it over 100 or 100 titles?
It's way over 100 titles, bro.
Right, yeah. So there you go. Like, I mean, it's not even a question at that point. Like, for the price you're paying, like, and there's tons of variety there. So
if Game Pass was around when I was a kid, my mother would never got me a new game, bro.
Oh yeah.
Never, yo. Like, I would have been just Game Pass and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, and that's where the industry is definitely heading. Like, all companies are trying to get to the Netflix of gaming first, I think. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I just think that
it's not even close, bruh. Hold on, man.
Whoa.
Hold on, it's not even close right now.
What?
Xbox is winning that war right there. What you talking about? That the Netflix of gaming?
Yeah,
it's not even close.
Wait, what's not even close? Like, you mean
like who's winning as far as console gamers are concerned? Xbox Game Pass is shitting on everybody else.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, but I get what you mean saying everybody want to do that, but they don't even look like they anywhere near it. Like, they don't even look like they sniffing that. Right now.
I mean, if Google decides to invest more money in Stadia, then they like you said earlier, they've already got probably billions of people with a Gmail. So
I mean, you're right about that part, of Google, but Sony, to me, the big part of that Games Pass shit is they got Xbox 360 games on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They got current generation, last generation, this generation, other generation. Like, that's how they able to do that ecosystem again, bro. It keep coming back. It's hard to do this shit without ecosystem, yo. It's gonna be very hard to do this without an ecosystem, man. I'm sorry, man. They made it really hard on themselves.
Okay, but you spent you spent a lot of time going at all of the diehard Sony supporters, right? So
yeah. My bad, y'all. My bad. I apologize.
Oh no, you don't have to apologize. It's your opinion. Everybody's entitled.
I really don't apologize though.
But now, what I was gonna say is, clearly PlayStation has a super loyal fan base, right? So the minute they put PlayStation Now on Windows and TVs or whatever it is, don't you believe that day one they're gonna have more subscribers than Microsoft? Like, will it be like a situation with Disney and Netflix where Disney launches their service, people flock to it just because of the library? Do you think that could happen?
Oh, my bad. I was talking this whole time. I had it on mute. I got 3 words for you.
Mm-hmm.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
What does that mean?
That's on PC now. It's coming to PC.
Did you see what happened when that game got announced for PC, bro?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people. They were mad about it?
Did you see what happened when an old ass game got announced for PC?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
They were upset about it, right?
Come on. Come on. Come on. Like that actually kills the PlayStation brand to them. PlayStation gamers love exclusive shit. You start putting their games other places where now now where anybody can play, they'll lose their fucking mind, bro. Let Uncharted come out the same day. The new Uncharted come out the same day on PC as it come out on PlayStation. Oh my goodness, they'll lose their shit, bro. They'll lose their shit. The PlayStation brand,
They
it's
would
gonna
die.
be. Yeah, exactly.
So what you're saying is the PlayStation brand cannot survive outside of a console. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, hey, look, I ain't gotta say it. They said it for me, bro. Just go online. Go look at all the tweets. Go look at all of the outrage. They said it for me, man. PlayStation gamers, this is how they are, man.
That's an interesting point. I want to see what people had to say about that. You know, that's a good question for everybody listening to answer in the comments. Can the PlayStation brand survive outside of the console?
Think about it like this, man. A large part of the arguments about, I don't need an Xbox, I'll just go get a PC. A large part of their arguments for like the last 3 years has been just that. Why get an Xbox when you get a PC?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like when you start doing that, it's almost like when a robot starts to turn, his AI starts to turn on himself and shit. You ever watch Westworld? All the niggas be bugging out when all the data and shit in their head. Yo, that's what's gonna happen to these dudes. Like, they're gonna be like, the AI gonna get all screwy and shit. Like, they don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you make a good point. I'll give you that one. You know, the behavior of the PlayStation fan base has, shown that. So I'll give you that one. But we'll see what people have to say about that. But for now, is there any other talking points you guys want to bring up before we end off the show? Anything else about next gen PlayStation, Xbox?
Ed got something to say.
What's up, Ed?
I ain't got shit to say. It's a wrap.
All right, so
Nah, man. I just want to say, look, I don't hate PlayStation. I know I was busting your chops today. I will buy day one. I'm gonna have a PlayStation 5. So, I'm just excited about the game industry. I feel like everybody is in a healthy position right now. I do not plan on owning another Nintendo, but everybody's in a healthy position right now, and let's just enjoy it. As fans, we should be super happy and super grateful. Let's just enjoy it, man. So if you want to talk shit to me or something I said on the podcast, feel free. Email Richard or Gary and they'll tell me.
Yeah.
I get enough hate mail. I don't want any more. But yeah. So we're gonna end this off here.
Wait, do you really get hate mail?
Well, I'm exaggerating a little.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's
but people
wild, yeah?
people do come at me though. They come at me.
I remember our site almost got hacked because you reviewed a RPG game. And you said that shit was whack. You said that shit was whack, and mad people started talking, came to our site, leaving racist comments and shit. Do you remember they was doxing us and all that shit?
Well, which game was this?
I don't even remember, to be honest. But I know we've been through some stuff though. I know we've had some angry, people come at us. Remember Carl's article too, Rich?
Oh yeah, that's the South Park article about Kanye West.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that.
So we've had some moments where we stirred the pot. But every site or every media, every member of the media that talks freely, suffers through that at some point. I mean, look at Hip Hop Gamer. Right now he's actually going through something because he said that the PlayStation 5 is going to have a remastering engine
Yeah.
for old games, and when Mark Cerny did not mention that, everybody instantly came out hip hop gamer. So
Really, everybody in Sony.
no, like all the fans watching, basically, like all the people on Twitter, like people were
Oh, that's
just going in
crazy.
on him, because
Well,
hip hop gamer made a big deal about PlayStation 5 having something like that, and
well, you know who
he's still
he's still
saying
saying?
that. He's still
You know
saying
who
that
do
though.
got a remaster engine though?
What's up?
You know who do got a remaster engine?
Who?
The Xbox Series X.
Wait,
That's a
does it?
fact. Yeah, it's called HDR.
Mm,
Did you see Fusion Frenzy, bro?
nah, I
Did
can't
you
lie, I
see
didn't see it.
Fusion Frenzy running on the motherfucking Xbox Series X? Go look that video up, man. Go look up. They got Fusion Frenzy looking like it just dropped yesterday. Like a Fusion Frenzy looked like a Xbox, PlayStation. It looked like one of those little digital games that they released, little indie games. That's how good it looked.
But is it actually a remastering engine, or is it just a remaster?
I mean, it works as an engine almost. Like it just upgrades everything. It upscales the resolution. It cleans all of the textures, making it look very crisp. Like it's amazing, bro. I don't know what they did. The shit
All right,
looks crazy. Go look it up. Fusion Frenzy on the Series X. Go look it up.
I'm gonna definitely look that up after this. But yeah, I mean, feel free, everyone. Let us know. Be honest. Let us know what you think of this. Drop your comments. Whether it's good or bad. Mention who you have a problem with after hearing this. I'm sure
Uh-oh.
some people will come at me for not defending Sony properly as well. I'm sure. But yeah, that's what it is. So before we get out of here, Edward, do you have any shout outs, or any plugs you want to mention on the show?
Shout out to my plug. That's it.
Shout outs to who? I missed that. I didn't hear that.
The plug.
His
Oh,
plug.
oh, okay. Yeah, shout outs to the plug. Who is it? Tommy Ghost.
Yeah. I ain't never seen that show, but yeah.
All right. And Mr. A.B. Frasier, Anthony Frasier, do you have anything you want to plug or any shout outs?
Nah, man. Just shout out to you guys, man. Still running strong. Shout out to all the fans, even the ones who strongly disagree with me. Shout out to just the coalition as a whole, man. Keep trucking.
Indeed, it's I want to say it's a pleasure to have both of you back on again, and it's a pleasure to also be working on things in the background, also. But I don't want to say too much. But yeah, like yeah, thanks for being here. And we you guys always have a place on this show as TK alumni. So it is what it is. And Mr. Richard Bailey Jr., any final thoughts or shout outs you want to give?
Oh yeah, I just want to give a shout out to everybody on the coalition staff, Dana, Adam, Mr. Nash, Mr. Tony Polanco, pretty much everybody on the staff, and of course you guys. Very entertaining show, so I'm curious to see what people have to say about it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for the feedback on this one. But yeah, as for me, I just want to shout out all the people who gave me all the positive feedback on the new website layout and everything. I really appreciate it. It took a lot of time to get right, and there was a lot of complicated programming, a lot of challenges to overcome. So I'm glad everyone likes it, and yeah, I want to thank you all for giving me that good feedback. And also, I want to give a special thanks to the people who have been supporting us even while the Co-op podcast has been away. So big shouts to Antonio Rogers, Fergus Mills, Himdil, Marcus Collins, Mauricio Aguilar, and Miguel Perez. Big thank you to all those people. They continue to support us on Patreon and everything. So yeah, And that's pretty much it until next time. It is what it is. We're waiting to see what's going to happen next in this story. Of course, there's going to be more information given on PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. I assume this summer, we'll get to learn more. We'll see like a full exposure of both platforms and what they can do, and then the real conversation can begin. But but yeah, this was a nice little discussion we had here about Mark Cerny. But until next time, peace out, everyone. Take care.